over to the Belgian Student League. That's next. This match going to be versus UGent Esports and the Erasmus Brussels of Applied Science and Arts, or EHB Esports. That works too. This matchup, a couple interesting teams here. UGent played in some of the European qualifiers in past seasons. Names like Bilbo that we'll recognize. EHB Esports, maybe a surprise showing, as this is one of their first appearances in this league. I want to take it to you, Psycho, because I feel like with this UGent team, we have some higher expectations from them in the BSL.
Absolutely so, and just looking at the league from a glance, it does seem as if this UGent roster is the team to look out for, the team that we're very much expecting to take that league by its stride. And the roster itself, formidable it is, comprised of Lander, Zazzles and Chaos, and also Bilbo as well, who unfortunately can't be here to play today. But nonetheless, even with a substitute replacing potentially the strongest player on that lineup, they are still a force to be reckoned with. And on their opposition, EHB, as you mentioned, Pyro, a roster that we don't know too much about. All we know is that they're hovering around that sort of GC2, GC3 level, and they're looking to cause an upset here today.
Oh, you heard it there, folks. Maybe an underdog story coming out for EHB Esports. Some of the underdogs have performed quite well on the day, so the narrative could be forming well for them. Macht, I'm taking it to you for our first prediction. Where are you going to strike your line between UGent Esports and EHB?
Well, going with the favorite has worked for me last series in the Netherlands, so the distance between the Netherlands and Belgium isn't too far. The distance between Ghent and Amsterdam isn't too far. So I'm going to go with UGent. Ghent is going to take for me. They are supposedly, from what we know, the top dogs of Belgium. And I think they want to cement their status, even though that they're playing with the sub.
All right, even with the sub, it is UGent from Machtfish. Greybeard, taking it to you. I'm sorry to inform you, your undefeated prediction record has come to a close.
Wow.
Where are you taking it this time?
Pyro the mouth. Thanks, mate. Okay, so what I'd like about this is that these are actually two teams that this desk and this panel doesn't know too much about. We have to learn about them by watching them, which is pretty cool. But I'm going to go with Machtfish on this one, with Ghent. And the reason I'm going there is a simple one. I know Chaos, well known in the coaching scene, done a lot of coaching, now playing again. And yeah, I'd like to see him succeed tonight. So for that logical reason, I'm going with him.
All right, well, that takes it to you, Psycho. Your prediction up here next.
Well, you know what? I think I'm going to have to follow this train, which is so boring for the final person to place a prediction. I'm so sorry about that, but I can't help myself. I like being right. I've been wrong twice today, so I need something on the board. So my prediction is going in the way of Ghent today. And honestly, their roster does look that little bit stronger just at a glance, because we look at some of the players involved in these sorts of leagues and we don't necessarily know them from their tournament history, but more so from the ranked environments as well. And looking on EHB, there aren't any names that actually come to memory there, but UGent, they definitely look a strong roster. And like you said, Greybeard, Chaos, a very strong player and coach as he is, with plenty of experience in both those departments. I'm sure he's going to lead their team to a comfortable victory maybe in this match.
Well, very well. Thank you, Psycho. I know that we've had some good underdog stories, so maybe EHB Esports could do it. And typically the host does take the role of taking another team, but choo-choo, I'm the conductor of this train, baby. Give me UGent Esports as well. Sweeping the desk. Greybeard, it's going to be you and Machtfish here for this cast. Lead us away.
All right, well, here we are again. It is Machtbeard and Greyfish bringing you the fourth series of the night. And yeah, this is pretty cool. I like that we're sort of taking our way across the European continent and the very best Rocket League we can find.
We've basically gone interrailing. We started in Italy, we explored the beautiful cuisine of that. Then we, had a stop in Amsterdam, had a stop in the Netherlands, just walking through that beautiful scenery of the city, and now going towards the coast of Belgium, going towards Ghent. It's just a nice interrailing journey on this evening, and I hope we get some more nice Rocket League to match it. But I have one bone to pick with you. Why you got to bring up that I can't grow a beard? Come on, please.
I thought I was being cute and clever. I didn't mean, you know, when you accidentally walk in and like open wounds and you think you're having fun. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
All right, well, here we are. Machtfish, away they go. Let's go, Commanders. Oh, what a great kickoff. That might be some interesting times there, but they managed to avert the initial danger. Look at this from Zazzles. Okay, a bright start, Machtfish.
A bright start. Not really any, you know, setting out the opponent, looking what they're going to do. Now we're just going to go straight into offense. We don't have a care in the wall. Wapiti going down. Looking for Lulu Waza on that EHB Esports side. Brussels, ooh, the capital against the, well, more marine folk of Ghent. Closer to the sea. Let's see who can take this one. It's Chaos with a shot, but that's going to be taken away by Wapiti.
Yeah, Chaos not getting the banger on there. Look on the other side. What a save from Zazzles. That looked like it was going to be a spectacular coast-to-coast solar effort. It is, however, saved, and the first minute wraps up, and we are even Stevens.
Even Stevens, and with some really high-quality chances thus far. Zazzles, again, trying to redirect that on net. A lot of demos as well, a lot of aggression coming out of both teams here. Chaos looking for Zazzles in the center again. It's cut off by Exa. Lander now with an opportunity. Lulu Waza and Wapiti have the pinch to get it away.
All right, that clear though, the pinching clear, almost turned into something quite delicious there for EHB, but it is turned away like their past efforts have. Oh my word, Lander now, Lander. The players make it hard for us at times, Machtfish, but yeah, Lander. Oh, well, only opportunity here? No, it's still not going to happen. So we've seen this, no building pressure, no sustained pressure cooker being built. It's pretty much take it to one end, have a crack at the net, it gets saved, cleared to the other side. Except now, for the first time, I think we're seeing a bit of pressure being built, and it's gonna be the opening goal for Wapiti. And against the run of play, the entire desk going the other way, but it is they who've opened the scoring.
It is indeed EHB Brussels taking the first goal here against UGent. I bet. Is Zazzles now with control on that back line. Just one thing I want to say, yeah, it would make it tremendously easier for us to pronounce your names if they actually had any vocals in them. So we know, you know, what this name is supposed to sound like. Just as a little FYI, and the little FYI is Wapiti having the long clear, unfortunately not finding a way into the opposition net.
Well, listen, so far, the team we knew the least about, EHB, they are, and against whom the entire desk predicted, are actually putting on a pretty solid performance here. And look, it is game one, and let's not read too much into it, but early signs, they've been the more likely to build pressure over on their opponent's side, and when they've needed to, they've defended, and they've got the one-goal lead for it, and now maybe Exa with a counter-attack. The clear is going to make things awkward as it bounces through the corner and over the net, and for the moment, UGent struggling to get it out of their half.
UGent indeed are struggling. It is continuous pressure here from EHB. Chaos kicking it to the side. Wapiti, though, is right on its case. Loose ball up in the air. Flip reset got from the ceiling. Admirable continuation. Not quite Zazzles on the goal line, but it is still in that danger zone. Chaos up yet again. Chaos just dropping it down. Looking for the ground pinch. Can't find it.
Just struggling with their finishing for the moment, are UGent. Their build-up play hasn't been bad, but when they've been presented with the net, shots that are not quite on target, falling short, just not the venom in front of the net missing for the time being.
The venom just not there. The accuracy not there for UGent. But Lulu Waza and his team at Brussels have enough of that. That's another great shot, but another equally as incredible save from Zazzles, getting his third of the game. Chaos now on the counter. Luluwaza cutting that one out.
And they are, look at this, surely now, no, it is going to go wide again. The shot, kind of a bit of disruption play in front of it to ensure that a decent shot didn't go on. And as well as they're doing, and they are in the lead, and they have full credit for it, a 1-goal lead evaporates so quickly. Just one weird, awkward pinch, and it's all over. So you're never quite comfortable, but they do look like they're going to be capable of closing it out here in the final 20.
You have to favor them to close it out. There's been nothing of significance from UGent, and indeed it's going to be very close for Exa to get it really done and get it over the line with the second goal for EHB. Another shot coming in. Chaos scraping that off his top corner. Now they have to keep it alive. Chaos out of his own defense. Can he make something happen? No, it doesn't seem likely.
Man, oh man. I mean, look, it is game one, and I'm always cautious about getting ahead of ourselves, but how good would a team feel that could go against an entire desk that predicted against them? Great opening from EHB Esports. 7 shots on goal, 6 from UGent. So it's really, really close. Only 1 goal in the entire 5 minutes, but EHB looked the better of the two teams out there.
EHB definitely looked the more threatening of the two teams. I think UGent, whenever they got forwards, it was more of a case of, you know, they just want to have a quick shot and then retreat back to defense. They clearly feel a lot more comfortable on defense, whereas EHB was willing to send the numbers forwards, send the numbers, you know, to continue to build some pressure and actually sustain some pressure and offense as well. That is what has been lacking from UGent thus far, and EHB look like they're playing with the underdog bonus. They're playing with the bonus that we don't really know who they are. We have to learn about them by watching this series, for example. And they're putting on a really good display.
Yeah, well, PT, Exa, Luluwaza doing the job out there. But this is now game 2. This is where we start to get a far better idea of where the series might be headed and how these players are going to perform. And given the experience of UGent, you'd expect them to put on a better show here. I mean, it was a close game. It is only 1 goal, but I think they would be the first to admit that they underperformed there, and they're going to want to do a hell of a lot better come game 2 here.
They have to do a hell of a lot better against this EHB side, and maybe it's again the arrogance that we've seen from some of our favorites this evening, that they don't really respect the opposition and thus get punished accordingly. That might be a slapstick goal there from Chaos, but Zazzles is bailing him out at the last second.
Oh my word, the blushes were spared there, but that wasn't pretty. They survive it for now, but it is, at the start of this game, it is again UGent who are under pressure. They are looking very scrappy and a little bit out of sorts in defense. They do get it out now. Lender, can he make something happen? Oh, there's been a whiff in defense, and now for the first time in this game, EHB under pressure, but do very well for the long clear and to release that building pressure.
Under pressure indeed is EHB now. Not so much. Lander actually trying to... Nope, he will not be trying to continue that play. Just rotating back. Just doesn't care about any sort of pressure, apparently. Lander now with a shooting opportunity. Just going to take a quick one here, but it's off target. It's not really going to trouble the defense at all. Even though they trouble themselves. Double commit and they can't get back in time. Chaos 1-0.
Yeah, but the build-up to this defensively, I mean, look at that. There are 2 players chasing after the ball. Chaos is going to get the finish. And it was a little bit of a breakdown of the EHB defense. They kind of lost their shape in defense. And suddenly it kind of opened up. And finally, it is UGent who get themselves on the board. And they have a lead.
Not only getting themselves on the board, but getting the lead as well is UGent here. Maybe finally taking the respect to EHB that they rightfully deserve. As Exa is cutting that one out. Zero boost to chase after it. Will try to get a 50 here in the corner. Gets a brilliant one at that. Luluwaza, though, not able to catch onto it. And now Wapiti has to buy a lot of time for his teammates.
All right, coming up to the 2-minute mark. The 1 goal, enough for now. And as we get into as we go with this, UGent are looking better than they have. The goal obviously would have given them some confidence. Chaos off the backboard. Zazzles doesn't get round the ball enough to have a real shot. But this pass, Lander shoots down off the crossbar, out of the post. Doesn't get much more unlucky than that. But my word, that was probably the best forward play we've seen from UGent so far in the series.
Doesn't get much closer than that, does it? The crossbar still shaking across Menfield from that absolute banger of Lander. Now the opposition, though, they have to be careful not to get overzealous, not to try too hard to get that second goal. Zazzles, continuation out of defense. Exa waits impatiently on that backboard. Lander again, good infield pass down. Chaos, can he latch onto it? Maybe cheeky double tip there. No, not quite.
I think he was looking for the pass down, but third man needed to do third man work. Couldn't be coming to commit for something like that so close to the net with the ball being so volatile. But it is still now UGent with possession, and now Chaos against two. I'm not sure what his plan was there, but puts the ball wide and gives away possession. But they will get it back, and they're going to be back. They're going to be back in EHB territory looking for that second.
They are indeed not sticking down. They don't want to turtle into defense. They want to be actively pursuing the offense. Chaos up high is going to be beaten by Exa. No, he gets a touch on that ball. Gets a 50. Zazzles into the corner. Flip reset touch trying to set something up, but with PT already in that corner, ready whatever was happening there from the opposition of UGent. Time slowly ticking away against EHB. Brussels has to find something here in the last minute.
And it has been pretty much a mirrored game, certainly on the score line, but also in terms of just the general feel of it. Oh my word, what is happening with EHB? They were looking so good, and suddenly we're seeing these moments of a little bit of, the whips and not quite sure what they're doing, and they're not being punished for it now, and now they've got to hang on. And by contrast, on the other side, it is UGent who need to hang on for now less than a minute. But a one-goal lead, as we made the point in the last game, can disappear quickly. But so far, they're looking like holding on.
So far, they're looking like holding on, especially because in this second game, only 3 shots registered by EHB. Only 4 on the sides of UGent, but that one shot is, again, being the difference maker. Extends to the middle, but Chaos gets it out.
Man, oh man, what an opportunity that was. Excellent work from Chaos, keeping his team in it. Now just 20 seconds to go, and now they've got to focus on possession. Possession and territory. If they can hang on to that, they'll see out these last 10 seconds. It's working well for them now. Wapiti has to save, but Zazzle's going to keep it right there. And now it induces the double commit, and that might burn up enough time off the clock to see UGent take this game. A last attempted goal goes wide. It wouldn't have been a necessary goal anyway, but we have a level series, so I was worried that we would be overseeing another sweep, but that is not to be. We have a level series.
Level series, 2 goals. 2 goals in 2 games. 1 for EHB, 1 for UGent. And with that, a 1-1. Only, though, 26 points from Lulu Waza in this game. I think that's the big standout. Lulu Waza just hasn't really connected in that lobby.
It's sometimes hard to know what happens to a team from one game to the next, because we see it all the time. A team that is phenomenal or does very well in one game comes out the next game and it all kind of goes a bit wobbly. And I think we got to give some credit there to UGent, because I think they certainly played a lot better. Seemed a lot more organized and moving forward with intent. But on the side of EHB, suddenly not looking as sort of free-flowing as they were in game 1.
Yeah, they were a lot more constrained by UGent. They were finding it more difficult to break out of their own half. They're finding it more difficult to assert some presence in midfield, maybe boost staffed as well. That's something that we didn't quite see. But something at UGent has changed to make it infinitely more difficult to play against them as we go into game number 3 on Neo Tokyo. Hopefully we can get it underway rather quickly.
We almost had it. We almost had the start of game 3 on Neo Tokyo. A pause. I'm sure they're just going to reset the lobby and get that going again. But we know we come. I mean, it was a good response from UGent, but it wasn't. I mean, they didn't dominate that game. Again, it was just the 1-goal game. So not a hell of a lot in it, but it is now. You feel EHB that have to kind of respond to what's happened here.
Yeah, EHB definitely need to find their groove back into the series. They need to find their groove back into midfield presence. Don't be too passive. Don't be too much of a passive spectator of the game, but rather try to proactively change the course of it. Because if you are too passive against the supposed favorite in UGent, then they're just going to run rings around you. That's what we've seen basically in game 2.
All right, well, I'm not sure if it's going to be as close here in game 3 as it has been in the first 2, or if one of these two teams can start to put some distance, some daylight between themselves and their opponents. Good kickoff here for UGent. Can they make it work? Chaos brings it down. That's going to fall down awkwardly, but Wapiti does very well. Kept his eye on it the whole way to ensure the clear, but not too far. Zazzles! Oh, great work. It's not in. Chaos to finish, and he gets it in 15 seconds, and UGent have our quickest goal of the series.
And UGent taking full advantage of the momentum, being fully in their court. Lulu doing well with that first save, but Chaos just poking it home to make it 1-0, a perfect start for UGent.
Yeah, they'll be very, very happy with that. And we saw them grow in confidence after their first goal in the last game. So this is going to do them the world of good. Wapiti again having to do defensive work for a clear. Exa does very well to move the play forward. And now an opportunity. Luluwaze, oh, he misses. He's left his teammate all alone. Fortunately, Exa does very well to avert the immediate danger.
A bit of chaos there on the right wall, on the right wing, between Lander and Chaos. Zazzles having to clean up the mess. Subsequently, it's Exa and it's EHB in the attack. That shot, though, not good enough. Wapiti now cutting it out, being more in midfield, showing that presence that we asked of them. Nothing to come off yet. But again, they're itching their way back into the series.
Well, so far we're falling into the pattern of the first 2 games. A goal is scored, and then it's a bit of a stalemate, despite the better play by one or the other team. The scoreline doesn't increase. It's not crazy stuff or a waterfall of goals. It is just the single goal. So a low-scoring affair. But if it stays like this, UGent will be quite happy with that. They'll take the 1 goal into a series point game.
They will definitely take it. They will not complain at all if they're just going to win 1-0 every single match. But I think that EHB have something against that. Chaos, big clear of his own backboard. Exa cutting it out in midfield again. Luluwaza, unnecessary touch from him. A bit of an alibi, could have left that for his teammate who was in a better position to make something of it. And thus all offensive pressure that EHB trying to build immediately shut down.
All right, and so it continues. We're not even halfway. The game has the feel like it's been going on for a while. But I think the illusion is created, and what a great touch high in the air. The illusion is created by how similar the first 2.5 games have been.
2.5 games, basically mirrors of each other. Still, we are on track for the perfect series where every game just has 1 goal. That's the dream, right? That's the dream series.
All right, well, Lander's got some defensive work. Easy touch to clear and get it away. It's high and loose in the middle. Chaos is chasing it down. Lander, though, with the follow. Can they make something build here? Chaos gets it into the danger area. There's been a team goal. There's been Team Chaos. Zazzles will finish. Oh, dear, a complete breakdown here from EHB in defense.
Oh, that one just hurts. That one really hurts. Wapiti had control and Exa just basically in the way of Passenger, even though he had full control of the car. Unfortunate scenes there in the box of EHB, but they have to deal with that. They're gonna have to come back from it. They haven't seen a lot of the blue half in this particular match, and they haven't seen a lot of the blue half of basically since 8 minutes, because that's how long they are being scoreless right now.
Yeah, it's a very long time, and as the seconds tick away, the uncertainty builds, and their current the few mistakes they've made here, the sort of whiffs in front of the goal, that second goal, of course, is just going to add to their uncertainty. And I'm not sure how they reset themselves, because they were looking very bright and positive in that game one, but it seems like more and more of a struggle for them as the series goes.
Something has changed, hasn't it? I don't know if it's Zazzles with those sort of angles that are making EHB second guess themselves, or if it's just that one pop-off game and they can't keep the focus up high. Zazzles, though, whatever it might be, that was definitely a brilliant angle.
Well, it's starting to feel like perhaps UGent just need a long runway to warm up. You know those days when you go into ranked, you open Rocket League, you don't even go to free play, you just get straight into comp, and you have to lose like 5 games before you're warmed up and ready to go. So maybe they just needed a long runway. That opening game, they weren't quite there. They did better in the second, and then by game 3, they're ready to run away.
Yeah, they are truly ready to rumble right now. Is UGent, Exa, and EHB. Maybe they can still find something in their hearts to contend against this UGent side, because they need to. They can't just give up. Lulu was a good save from him. Chaos not able to make contact in this instance, but it's only 20 seconds. I doubt that EHB is going to come back to it. I think match point will be in the hands of UGent.
If they come back with 3 goals in 20 seconds, it's going to be probably the best series I've ever cast. So it's looking pretty unlikely now. Maybe they can get 1 for the road, 1 for the morale, make them feel a bit better about things, not be shut out. But even that now is very unlikely. They're going to have to keep the ball up, and it's they do for the time being. Who gets here? Long distance from Chaos. The ball will bounce, and it is UGent who are on series point.
UGent on series point in this first series of the BSL. Again, week 1 of league play for Belgium as well, and UGent trying to put themselves in the prime position to take that one spot that Belgium has straight towards UR Spring. But for now, they are going to have to win 1 more against EHB, who need to somehow figure out what's been going wrong ever since game 1.
Yeah, I think it's to me the equation's fairly simple. I think UGent have warmed up, they've grown into the series, they've become organized and looking better going forward, whereas EHB was sort of looking to play the same game they played in that first game that won them the game. But with the added problem is that they're not even doing that as well as they were. They're sort of looking a bit shaky and insecure in defense, and a little bit tentative in defense, and it's getting them into trouble.
Yeah, they're looking like they second-guess themselves, and that's the one thing that you're never allowed to let happen. That second-guessing is going to not only throw yourself off, but throw your teammates off as well, because your teammates have certain expectations that you go for a ball, that you either boom it away, take control, but that you do basically what you tell them that you're gonna do. And if you tell one thing and do the other, your whole team is going to get out of rhythm, your whole team is going to get out of shape, because nothing rings true anymore, and it's going to be a small moment of chaos, and those small moments of chaos are just happening too often right now for EHB. But we're on game 4, Utopia Colosseum, match point for UGent.
And UGent have the moment of chaos on their team through the work of Chaos, and been doing good work, and a nice intercept there might set up something. Oh, Lando is going to have to scramble back. He didn't have the boost to get up and do anything with that. So they got some defending work to do here. Maybe an opportunity. No, it's going to be cleared down to the other side. And it is UGent who will try and build on what they've done in the last 2 games and take this down without having to go to a decider. But look at this from Exa. Okay, maybe this is a massive turnaround moment. A solo effort gets past 1, and the little chip, the tiny bump toward the end, sees it in, and they're in front.
Little chip, tiny bump, but enough to displace Chaos. Just enough to displace Chaos. And with that, it's a 1-0. It's a goal that's going to be so good for the morale of EHB, and now they can potentially just try to hold on to it. It's a long time. It's a tough ask, but it's definitely something that they have done before in game 1. They could do it again. They could repeat it here in game 4.
For me, it's the most likely result if this game ends 1-0 to EHB to take it into a decider, which, I mean, it'll be a magnificent performance if they can do it and hold on for that long. Oh, my word. Well, that just looked like, you know, if you're not sure what you're doing, your opponent sure aren't going to figure it out. Works out for them. They might have a chance here. We're PT trying to make something happen. But it's this feels like the moment of chaos you were talking about earlier, but over on the UGent side.
It truly is chaos, but I like that philosophy. I like that idea of I don't know what I'm doing, so how the hell is the opponent going to supposedly know what I'm going to do? You know, it's a valid strategy.
Well, it's a strategy, Machtfist. It's a strategy.
It's working for EHB, but for how long is the question? Chaos trying with a bit more of a formal approach towards that net. Not really subscribing to his own name, but, you know, we can work on that.
All right, but you know what, they are doing far better here. They're actually causing a bit of frustration here for UGent, who are trying to move forward in an organized fashion, but they're being intercepted often just like that. That was dropping down into the net. Lander, I think, suddenly realized he had work to do to keep that out, and to be fair to him, does magnificently to do so.
He had work to do, and he did that work very beautifully indeed. As now, again, chaos on the midfield line. Zazzles and Luluwaza just backflipping around. Better end for UGent in the blue. Chaos up and down against the ceiling. A long clear coming out of Exa. It's now long clear is the name of the game here for EHB. But this clear not good enough for PT. Teeing it up for Lander, but he couldn't react in time.
What we like to call the clearing pass. I'm clearing it from here into the middle. Surely now Lander will pick up the loose ball in the middle and bang it home. Level game. And it wasn't a loose ball. It was the loose ball. I thought Chaos was going to pass that, but no. It was an EHB player trying to clear it. Squirts it out to the side, opening up that goal.
Yeah. A gift nicely wrapped, presented with a lovely gift card at the bottom. 3 kisses for UGent, telling just please score on us. We won't do anything in defense. Trust us. We're just going to give you that lovely gift. It's, you know, it's winter. Christmas is slowly but surely approaching, and EHB really subscribing to the Christmas spirit, but that's not what you want to see in this instance, and they better find their ruthless sportsman-like selves sooner rather than later.
And this is the first time in the series that a lead has been overcome, where the game has been leveled after a lead was taken. This is very awkward. Zazzles does incredibly well. That was very iffy for UGent. They survive it. Now they're over on the other side. Lander with the opening goal, looking for another there. Oh, Chaos has been beaten, but Zazzles is back.
Zazzles once more, the rock in defense of UGent here. In this instance, Lander now off the ceiling, can't find the dunk on Exa. Chaos following up. It's now on UGent. They want to take this in regulation. They don't want to go into this overtime scenario. They don't want a game 5 potentially looming on the horizon. EHB trying to get it out, but failing to do so thus far. Luluwaza has a big challenge in the midfield, but they can't latch onto that loose ball. It's Lander yet again for UGent.
Oh my word, Lander doing so well. It is 50 after 50 after 50 to keep it in the corner of EHB, and finally they get it out.
Finally they get it out, but from whence it came, it comes back quickly. Lander, infield pass opens. Zazzles is there, but the infield pass just slightly too far forward, slightly too difficult for Zazzles to latch onto. Lander, second try again in the middle. Zazzles is there. Luluwaza does have it. Oh my goodness, nearly the winner, but we do go into overtime.
All right, overtime it is. Sudden death. We're either headed to a game 5 decider, or it is going to be Zazzles. Oh, it was nearly the perfect play, and they fluff their lines at the last, but they're still in attack.
Still an attack, and it's that man, it's Zazzles from the back of his car. Luluwaza getting it out in the first instance, but Lander straight there. The pressure is still not coming off the defense. Luluwaza can't get to it. That's a big pinch, though. That's a very big pinch, Lander. I mean, he was deep third. He was already back.
All right, Zazzles, he can finish it right here, right now. It's been saved for now. It's awkward. Chaos is lurking like a vulture, waiting for the ball to die so he can pick it off. It doesn't happen, and now it's that self-same Chaos on his own backboard, having to do work in defense. Nice control, but he is dispossessed. There's been a double commit, but Zazzles wants to be involved. You get the feeling Zazzles wants this to be done right here, right now, but he's got to be cautious that he doesn't get caught out in his enthusiasm to get it done.
Zazzles really wanting to be the one player that puts this game to bed, puts it to rest. He has to be indeed careful to not overcommit, not be too overzealous. Exa nearly getting the bomb and nearly beating up Upiti. Luluwaza whiffing yet again. Lander looking for Zazzles. Low boost in the tank, looking for the pinch between Zazzles and Lander is UGent. Right now they can't do much with it. Wapiti has a look at target, but Chaos is equal to it.
All right, a minute 40 in this overtime. We still can't separate these two teams. And the longer this goes on, I mean, this has got to be building confidence, actually. If you think about it, for EHB, I think, you know, they're going toe-to-toe with a team that kind of undid them in the last game. And if they do find a way to get that golden goal, they'll go into Game 5 with a bucket load of confidence.
If you can just get that one opportunity, that one dunk to go through that 150, maybe that one long clear. Chaos, though, up already for UGent. It is getting nervy here now for both teams. Lander looking for Zazzles, little 1-2 opportunity. No, he leaves it for Chaos. No one challenging from EHB. Very tentative to go off of their back line.
How often do you see a ball that dead in a competitive game of Rocket League at this level? Not very often. But it was there. This is a shot. It's going to come off the crossbar. The follow-up demo. And that could have done it. Now the shot from Lander's going to be wide. That would have wrapped it all up. The net was open. The ball, however, wide. And now Lander will have another crack at it. A soft little tap toward the net. Easily cleared away. But it is EHB looking a little under pressure on their back line. Everybody up against the goal line. Lander with yet another go. Oh, this dump. Oh, my. Okay, that would have been the shot of the night if he had pulled it off. But that's a mighty big if, and it didn't come to pass.
We both saw the magic there, Gravy, didn't we? From Zazzles, but he just didn't make contact. And it is, again, chaotic on the back line of EHB, but they do survive. They do keep it through. Chaos into the corner. Wapiti back middle. Exa is there. Exa is there. Exa is there. Game 5.
Somehow, they've hung on by their fingertips here, have EHB, and they have forced a Game 5. They've got, I mean, we've had almost 2 games of Rocket League here. Oh, dearie me. So it gets decided in 5.
Champions Field. It's gonna be the decider. Champions Field, the destination between UGent and EHB Esports in what, truthfully, is a very bizarre series with very little flow, a lot of chaos, but a high content factor.
Listen, it's fantastic. I was convinced this series was over in this game, just given how much further UGent had gone in the Game 3. That I was like, okay, they're going to take this here. But big credit to EHB for continuing to fight. They never gave up. They looked very scrappy. They looked a little bit out of it at times. But man, they hung in there, and here they are, forcing a Game 5.
And more power to them if they can find their strength again in Game 5. If they can find their performance again in Game 5, an early goal, I feel like the key for EHB here on Champions Field. If they can just get their confidence up, can get their confidence rolling, they can definitely make some damage and create some damage for UGent. This is it. First week of BSL, Game 5.
Champions Field. We all love to see it, where dreams are made and broken, and this is a lot of hype for a league game. But still, all the games are important.
Especially if there's just one qualification spot for Belgium for the BSL for Uni Rocketeers Spring, for the biggest tournament that we're going to have in this circuit. And every league game can be important. This one especially for UGent against EHB. Lander already up but beaten by Wapiti.
30 seconds in. No danger, no early alarms for either side, although that might change. It's a 1v1. The pass! Oh, Chaos can't get on the pass. It was the perfect play. The last player was committed to the challenge. It was a, well, I was going to say an easy tap, and maybe that's not fair, but Chaos should have read that better.
Chaos. I mean, the pass was also incredibly difficult. The pass just had so much power onto it. I don't think Chaos expected that. It was a well thought out idea, but the execution just unfortunately lacking there from UGent. Luluwazalo teeing up Lander. Exa decisively intercepting that one.
Yeah, and I know, oh, double commit here. UGent are the one with Chaos on the team, but in my mind, it's EHB who have the Chaos factor, and they found a goal through Wapiti. They just seem to create a bit of chaos, and it's worked for them here, but this was great work from Wapiti to see that coming off the wall, and the execution, fabulous.
Fabulous indeed, and it's the one double commit from UGent in the midfield area that's just going to make it incredibly awkward on defense, and you can see that Lander was just struggling on the backboard. He got a touch out, but he couldn't really control where the touch was going to go. Wapiti is going to have another look. Zazas won't reach it. Luluwaza has a shot, but it's wide.
All right, so far EHB are positioned with the caveat that there's a lot of time remaining, but they are positioned to embarrass the entire desk here, Buckfish.
You know, we're casters. We deal with embarrassment.
What do we know?
we know it. But more importantly, they're about to embarrass the supposed favourites of Belgium in UGent. No one really going for that one, and still UGent don't find a goal.
Oh man, that was a great opportunity. But now, long distance, this is so awkward. And Exa, long distance banger, undoes the entire UGent defense.
Out of nowhere, Zazzle's not ready, Chaos not ready, no one ready for that banger top bit. Oh my god, that placement is just beautiful. That placement is just so good. No one ready for it, and how can you be?
Well, also, this marks the first time that there's 2 goals for EHB. They did have 2 in the last, of course, the last coming in that overtime, but in regulation, a 2-goal lead. How luxurious for them.
It's a new feeling. It's definitely a new feeling for EHB, and it's a new feeling for UGent as well, who are having to come back from a 2-goal deficit, and they only have half the game to do it.
Game 2, UGent did very well to adapt their play to what they faced in the first game. But I get the feeling they're struggling to adapt to the... I do think they're the better team. Is there a third here? Maybe? No, it's going to be blocked. Again, to relate it to my own Rocket League, which is such a bad thing to do. But you know, when you playing a higher rank, and then for a little bit you go and play a lower rank, and you just can't deal with that, with the play style. You're not sure how to keep up. But I get the feeling there's a little bit of that here with UGent struggling to adapt to the chaos play of EHB right now.
Yeah, UGent definitely doesn't seem comfortable in this instance. They look very comfortable in game 3, but then somehow, oh my god, EHB dragged them back, but Chaos is taking matters into his own hand. What a 50-50.
Listen, this is good stuff, man. And that was good. That was solid. He saw exactly what was going down and positioned himself perfectly for it. So they claw their way back. They're not in it yet, but they're a lot more comfortable than they were just a few seconds ago. So now they've got to find the second just to level things up, then find the third to take it. So despite that concession, it is still EHB in the more advantageous position.
EHB still in the driver's seat, but maybe just having their hand knocked off the gear. Levi Exa! So close, just past the post. Wapiti having a look at it, but Chaos cutting it out in the infield. It's those small little counter-attacks, the small relief attacks that are so dangerous, but Zazzles on the other side, taking advantage of, again, a loose ball from Luluwaza.
And we were talking about them looking uncomfortable. And we were talking about that literally seconds before they scored their first goal. And certainly now, with a minute remaining, perhaps they've figured things out a little bit and they can sort of settle into their own. You feel if they just played their own game, played some solid Rocket League, they should be taking this. And maybe now that they've clawed their way back, they could do that, although, oh my word, they're jumping over the ball, nearly causing a problem at the back. They're going to have to defend here, and Lander will do very well to get that clear and maybe put them under pressure on the other side.
Lander doing very well indeed. Dexter putting another one on target with PT continuation. Where's the third? Luluwaza is up. He gets the shot. It's dangerous, but Lander is there underneath the crossbar to get it out. For now, 30 seconds remaining. Zazzles looking for Lander. Beautiful. 1-2 out of their own defense. Luluwaza, one little touch is in the way of extra chaos. Double tap. No, with PT.
18 seconds to go. That shot would have put paid to the series. You feel, okay, Zazzles looking to control, and Wapiti having none of the closing him down in a hurry, and the closing seconds are pretty awkward. We're going to have another overtime by the look of it. A long one last game, 3 minutes 20, I believe it was. Oh, that's heading toward the goal, but it doesn't have the distance all the time, and we have a second consecutive overtime.
Oh, EHB get away with murder with the double commit for how long? Though there is K Lander. There is the 3-2, and UGent in the end are able to close it out.
Oh man, oh man. But what an entertaining series. It started off, I mean, we had 2 goals in the opening games. 1-0, 1-0, and it seemed overall fairly placid, but it got really entertaining. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I'm very pleased with what EHB did. I think they've got a bit of work to do in terms of their gameplay and their level of it, but no doubt they'll grind it out. And UGent, you feel they made it a little bit hard for themselves.
They did. They definitely did make it a little bit hard on themselves. But if one thing to take away from this BSL match, then oh boy, we can expect some content out of Belgium in the coming weeks. That was phenomenal. Close series, closely fought. I'm just looking. I'm a fan. I'm a fan, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, now we know a bit more about them. So the next time they're on stream and we're casting, there's going to be a little bit of info in the database, in the bank, so we can talk about what they did here and how close they came. And yeah, I hope they keep at it and we see a lot more of them.
Yeah, so do I. But we're going to head into our last break of the evening. After that break, we're going to have a match from the NSE, the UK National League. So once again, grab a drink, go to the toilet, grab a snack, and then come right back for us for our last match of the evening.
We continue with the National League roundup of the UNIVERSITY. We've gone through many a league, the wild card, and we just had the Belgian Student League matchup there. Maxfish and Greybeard took us through that one. A Game 5 intense series. We had a tight match. We had long overtimes. Greybeard, what was it that allowed UGent Esports to just take it above EHB?
It's a great question. I think they finally scrambled to do what they had to do to win it. But as Macht and I said at the end there, it seemed like they made it hard for themselves. They were the favorite, and this entire desk predicted them. But man, did they make it hard. But I loved the fight. I loved the fight from EHB. They caused a lot of chaos. I don't think they were entirely sure what their plan was a lot of the time, but they were in there. They were just like, let's take this game to them. And I think UGent were just able to keep it together long enough to find a win.
Well, there you go. They kept it together. And Machfish, I'm curious as well. I mean, it was EHB to make it difficult for them. Do you think this maybe gives them a leg to stand on as we move forward with that Belgian Student League?
Oh, definitely. I think EHB surprised pretty much all of us. We thought, coming into it, there were GC2, GC3. I saw an SSL tag on Wapiti that, already gave me some hope for EHB, but Wapiti and Exa in particular really surprised me, and they were working really well together. It was just, I feel like on Luluwatu to just get a bit more involved. Unfortunately, it's difficult to win if not all three are firing on all cylinders, especially in such a close series. So definitely there's potential there for EHB, especially for BSL. But they just gotta find that rhythm as a team, as a full unit. But then they can take some names.